in this country, 93% of our population find the practices of LGBTQ highly repugnant. They find it highly affronting our values, our culture, and the way of life of the Ghanaian people. It is so strange, foreign, it is pervasive, and it is highly abhorrent. So it is not one matter that any president will be allowed to joke with. The outturn of last year's election must be a guiding principle and must be a guide for any president, that this is something that is very important and dear to the hearts of our chiefs, of our imams, of our pastors, of our youth, our young ones, of the old, and of every well-meaning Ghanaian citizen. Only 7% disagree. And therefore, if President Mahama agreed with the 93% when he was in opposition, but suddenly after winning power will turn his back on the 93% who agree with the private members bill and now join the 7% who disagree with our private members bill, then the Ghanaian population will rise up in repugnance at that new turn and that shift in position. We are urging President Mahama to be consistent in his principles and in support of this private members bill. Constitutionally, nothing stops members of parliament from pursuing private members bill on a legislation that is so dear and important to the heart of the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians. And so same procedure was deployed in the 8th Parliament. We have deployed the same procedure. On 25th of February, we signed the private members bill in the same shape and form as was passed in the 8th Parliament. My good friends who signed with us in the previous Parliament, many of them signed again. Honorable Sam George is part of the sponsors now. Honorable Bedra is part, Honorable Helen Tonso, Honorable Now Odole Soa, Honorable Hassan Tampuli, Honorable Abdul Kabir Mahamatia, Honorable Momuni, Honorable Eko Vincent Asifwa, Honorable Tony Mier, and a number of others who are equally in full support. We have signed the bill, we have presented it, submitted it duly to Mr. Speaker, we have submitted same to the Clerk of Parliament, we have copied the Majority Leader, we have copied the Minority Leader, and so it stands as submitted and reintroduced. It is our expectation that next Friday, when the new business statement is to be read, they will program the bill for legislation, and the Speaker is expected to refer the bill to the relevant committees to begin crafting and stakeholder consultations for the processes to be underway. And therefore, nothing stops Mr. President from supporting this bill after it is passed and he has assented to. If he also feels that as a state they even have stricter and harsher sanctions to apply on top of what we have done, and even thinks that there's more robust introduction of other dimensions that will even enhance the law further and even further protect the values and culture and tradition of our people, he may well so do it in his right as a state, and nothing will be prejudicial and nothing will be wrong with that procedure. But for him to say that until such a time when he sponsors an LGBT bill, a bill that will come to deal with these matters, until such a time any member of parliament is stopped from, or this parliament is stopped from pursuing private members bill, the same bill that he supported, that I disagree. And the president is attempting to jettison his principle. He is attempting to jettison the document that embodies laws, procedures that protect the norms, tradition, and culture of our people, just because he has won power. All of a sudden, he no longer believes in these same principles. Mr. President, please remain consistent with your principles. Some of us have been consistent with our principles right from 2017 when we first entered this parliament. We made the first press conference and statement in August 2017. Subsequent to when I was even Deputy Minister for Education, I stood firm on my principles and I co-sponsored this bill in 2021. And now, even in opposition, my position has not changed. Mr. President, do not change your position on this bill. Don't turn your back on Ghanaians. Don't turn your back on our values. Don't turn your back on the many who find the LGBT practices repugnant and an onslaught on our rich culture and tradition. So, Mr. President, support the bill. it will be passed, and indicate your commitment that you will assent to it consistent to what you said 6 months ago, and let us make progress in collectively protecting our values, principles, and beliefs.